Hey guys, it's Chris here. So I think actually today I made it to the right spot even, and I am on my business page and we're going to do a live video. I've been doing some work with the True North bundles, and so I will show you in case you missed it because I was in a weird spot the other day. I went live on my personal page and not here. I did share it here, but I know that it gets different. So what I've been working with is the True North bundle. So they close to my heart put this together to help celebrate the 15th anniversary of Close to My Heart in Canada, which was celebrated at the end of October. And to help celebrate it, they created two bundles. There's the True North bundle and then one called the Great Outdoors. And I've been playing around with this True North one. So if you purchase, there's a specialty stamp set and there's also a bundle. So obviously there's a savings at the bundled price. And with the bundled supplies, they give you the guide to create 2, 4, 5 scrapbook pages and 4 cards. So what I did the other day was I played around with the first card, and here we go. So this is the card exactly how they've designed it. I literally just cut the papers and assembled it exactly according to the directions. So then we had some fun and I created a little shaker card here and swapped out the papers and changed up the stamping and created a second card with the same sentiment on it. And then I want to just show you how versatile it was. So from the same exact dimensions, I created this one using a different stamp set and different color combinations. But so just so you know that I tried to keep it within the same color family as the rest of the kit. So then yesterday I had a filling and my face was so frozen. I don't know what the heck he was doing, but I was frozen up to like the top of my cheekbone. So I was not up for doing a live, but so I didn't want to waste the time. So I did a process video and I assembled this layout from the bundle also. This is the single page layout. And so then I did like a little bit of a voiceover later in the evening when I could feel my face again. And so if you're looking for the process video, I uploaded it this morning here underneath, and it's also on my YouTube channel too. So this turned out super cute. Here, I'll take it out of the page protector because I know that the glare is bad. But so it totally looks like a Canadian flag, which they did on purpose, I'm sure. But I love this. And I actually am going to take this and I'm going to recreate it, I think, next week, swapping out some stuff and making it a little bit more like my kind of page. But this is super cute. The only thing that I haven't done in here is I haven't added the journaling strips in yet. But I will add those in later. I already know what pictures I'm going to put on here, I think. So, but yeah, I'm going to have some fun with this next week, I think. And this is exactly done how they give you the directions. So super easy. Okay, so we'll set aside all the stuff we've already done. Back there. Okay, so the next card I decided to play with, and I'm not really sure how this is going to turn out, but here we go. So I picked this one, and this is actually, I think, the first in the instruction guide, and I love this card, but I thought we would play around with it a little bit. I love the vellum over top of the card with the first and second generation stamping. So how I thought we would play with it a little bit is, for starters, we're going to keep with the same stamp set, I think, as soon as I see it. Anyway, I'll find it in a sec. We're going to keep with the same stamp set, but we're going to create a shaker card this time. So, and these are the other two cards from the workshop. So they will be coming up in a little bit. I have some ideas for them. So I just realized I should probably also share this over in my classroom. Okay, so first off, we're going to make this one and we're going to add a shaker element. So what I've done is I've already cut the pieces and I've used our the thin cut shaker window and confetti die. Love these. This was by far, I'm pretty sure, everybody's favorite addition to the idea book. But, oh, here it is. I couldn't find my stamp set. Okay, it's right here. So I pre-cut out some of the, so I've cut out the pieces exactly the same as this one. You can see here, ta-da, exactly the same, except for we're going to add a shaker element to it. This is for the second card. Just going to set that aside. We'll see how that one turns out. So when I cut out the shaker pieces, I also cut out some matching confetti, and they're just sitting on the top of my desk. So we'll decide what we're going to put in here. So this is the stamp set that goes with it, and it's actually called True North. So, and you can find it under the promotions on the shopping page. So just I had some fun. When I cut out the rings for all the shaker cards we're going to do, I cut out confetti in each of the colors. I cut out hearts in the saffron and the candy apple, and then some stars in the sapphire. So those are just sitting up there. We'll put one of those in here. So first I'm going to just fold my card base. So this is, I'm just going to put up here the one we are playing with. So I'm just going to fold my card base. And so I also decided that I would keep all the colors the same even on the recreations. So these leaves are stamped with first and second generation espresso. So we will do that. I just need... Okay, so I have my stamp on my block. Holy smokes, my blocks are dirty. That's a sign I've been stamping. Yesterday, when I was doing the page with the candy apple red, later in the afternoon, I took my daughter to do some shopping, and I had candy apple all over my hands, and she kept looking at me like, are you okay there? She couldn't tell if I'd cut myself or if it was ink. So this background is just random stamped. So I'm just going to get my handy dandy little scrap piece of paper so I could stamp over my edges. And then here's the seam for my card, and I'm gonna want to stamp some over the edges here. So I'm just gonna add a little post-it note so that when I go over the side there, it won't stamp onto the back of my card. So when you're doing first and second generation stamping, if you want the second generation, then you have to stamp off the stamp. But on this card, we want both the first and second. So I'm just going to stamp it once and then rotate it and do the second generation stamping without cleaning off my stamp in the middle. So this gives you like two separate different colors. So we'll go 1 and 2. Oh, not really sure where that little sticker came from, but let's go 1. Now I can move this down a little bit. Gotta love Post-its. They're handy for everything. So 1 and 2. Oh, I actually didn't have to go this far because it's going to get covered up anyway. So we don't need that. I'll just move that to the side. See, I should have looked before we started. I just want to get some more that are the lighter color in here. It's always nice to have a few off the edge because then it actually looks more real. Okay, so that is that stamping done. And I think in the circle for the shaker card, we will add the bonjour again. So I'm just going to set that to the side. And hopefully my heater is not making too much noise. It is chillier. Okay, and I think I am going to keep with the espresso. I'm trying not to get sick. I have this bad feeling that I am fighting something. So this morning I had to run to Costco, so I treated myself to a citrus defender. So hopefully that will ward it off. Okay, and I think in here I'm just going to do a couple of second generation leaves. So I'm just going to stamp it off and stamp in here. And you could even do third generation if you wanted it even lighter. Just to add something in the background behind where the shaker pieces are going to go. And maybe just one more. There we go. Okay. So now I'm going to put my card together. It's already folded. So I'm going to add the patterned, the Grateful Heart pattern piece right to the edge. So I'm just going to line this up right here. So this one is really, I'm just doing it exactly the same as the guide, except for I'm just adding the shaker element. So there's a little stitching on this one. So you can do it with a ruler or just freehand. It's completely up to you. This one I did with the ruler, and this one I'm obviously just doing freehand. And they pretty much look the same. So there we go. I'm going to, we're going to add the vellum down now. So the vellum sits like this. So if you put your adhesive here, it's going to get all hidden with the saffron piece of paper. So you just add your adhesive to that edge, and then even if it's visible, we're going to cover it up. So how pretty is that? And now we'll add this here. Okay, and I'm going to add my this is the shaker bottom. So we're really going to build our shaker on top of this piece right here. Okay, and then so we shall sell the shaker windows in foam and acetate. So everything is the exact number you need to create the shaker windows. So this is the foam adhesive, and it's what lifts the acetate up off the bottom of the card so that your shaker pieces can float around in your card. So I'm just running my piercing tool around the outer edge to take the to detach it from the rest of the foam pieces on here. Don't throw that away, because now you have foam tape. Also, if you break it up, like just break up all the bonds, then they don't stick together. So I'm just going to put my piercing tool down for starters. I'm just going to, I put my nails just on the edge of one of the parts of the circle and lay down my foam tape like so. That I find the easiest way to adhere them, and once it's down, it's not going anywhere. That foam tape sticks really, really well. So then I'm just going to use my anti-static pouch so that all the confetti is not going to stick together inside. So I'm just going to run that along the inside. It also takes the sticky off the edge of the foam tape so your stuff doesn't stick in there. So I'm just going to add some gold sequins inside. And these are just from our loose sequin package. There's a couple of different finishes of the gold, and then there's some clear in there. So there's little clear sequins and stars. And then in the silver coloration, there is silver and white and clear sequins. So I think that should be enough. I'm just gonna move them around. Like so. So there's two different finishes. There's like a shinier gold and then just a like a brushed gold. And then there's clear pieces, which I know you're not going to be able to see in here, but they're in there too. So I think I'm going to add a few of these saffron hearts. So I just used the inside piece of the shaker die and cut them out when I cut out a ring. It fits right inside, so you can just add the 2 pieces in and only run it through once. So here's my acetate piece, and it's cut perfectly to match the foam. And I'm just going to take there's a film on it, and I'm just going to take that off. There's all sorts of, there we go. Just have to find the right spot. A lot of people have lots of different tricks to get the film off. You can use like the rub and erase, or you can use a little piece of washi tape or anything really, just to get a little bit of sticky on it. But if you're gonna do something sticky, make sure that you're actually on the side with the film and not the clear side, or you're gonna end up with residue on there. Again, I'm just gonna lay this down on the edge. I can totally tell that everything is drying out now that winter is here. We have more static than normal. So I'm going to add my liquid glue around the edge. I haven't actually tried to adhere it with tape runner. It's a really small space, so I found that the liquid glue works pretty well. So if it ain't broke, there we go. And as you know, liquid glue will hold most things together. So you can either add it onto your ring, and that's just another piece from that thin cut, or you can add it onto the acetate, whichever works best for you. So now I'm just going to let this dry for a second. And like I did the other day, I think we're going to add some shine to it. So I just have my clear shimmer brush, and it's always just pretty to add a little bit of sparkle on there. I'm just going to give it a second to dry, and I'm trying to decide if I should cut these out and add them on. I think I might. So I just have a sheet where when I was doing other stamping, I stamped them. So we will just fussy cut out a few of these and see if I'll add them or not while that is drying. So I'm just going to leave just a little slight white border. So you should have seen me last night trying to figure out, it's been a long time since I've played an iMovie. So when I was working on that process video last night, and I've always done it on our Mac desktop, but that is full and very old, so it doesn't process very quickly. I don't think I could actually edit a movie on there anymore. So I was trying to do it on my iPad, and that's the first time I've done that. So it was a little interesting. It's not like movie theater quality process video, but you get the idea. It was fun though. I might do some more of them. It's different not being on live and having interaction, but it's super easy to refer back to. So if somebody wanted to do the page later, it's easy for them to find because I'm loading them all up onto my YouTube page too. So there's that one. I think I will, while I'm cutting, I'm going to add the clear shimmer on here. So much sparkle. So just shake it up so that you're not getting just the clear liquid, but you're actually getting your sparkle, glitter, whatever is inside the liquid tube. And if it's not coming out, just gently squeeze it. If you squeeze them too hard, you end up with a big, huge mess, and you don't want that. So this is just the clear one. But there's lots of different colors. There's the new color of the year. We have a sugar plum one. There's a mint one. There's black and candy apple red, which would also fit in with this workshop. Okay, so there's one. I'll just decide. Yeah, so I think I might need to teach myself a little bit more about my iMovie, but it was all right. It served the purpose of what I was trying to do. I can't actually even remember the last time I did just like a process video. And it's harder to do a scrapbook page for sure live, just because of its size and trying to get everything properly lined up and not get your head in the way. This is a little bit easier because what I did yesterday, which was probably a mistake, was I was standing up and I probably should have sat down. So my head did get in the video a few times, but all good. So I'm just moving the paper and not really moving my scissors, and I'm just leaving a little bit of a white border. It's a little bit more forgiving. If you want, you're more than welcome to cut right up to the edge of the leaves. So this little stamp could be used for so many things, just like a fall page or card or back to school layout. So, okay, I think I'm going to add them, and I'm going to add some twine, but in like a bow. So in the bundle, it's the bronze twine, which I think was from last spring, but it's so pretty with all of these colors. So I just tied a little bow, and there we go. Just trim off the ends. And I will add these leaves with some liquid glass. Just over the shaker piece. There's not many people popping on this afternoon, so I'm assuming that everybody's busy this Friday afternoon. I thought I ran my errands this morning, and so the morning was not the best to get on. But normally I try and go on in the morning instead. And okay, I think I'm gonna add the little bow with a dot. So these are just the little glue dots, and I'm just going to add my twine on here and then pull it off with my, stick it down, press it quite hard so it actually sticks on there. And I'm just going to add this little bow right here. Oh, that's cute. Okay, so now I'm going to add a few dots, sequins, the same as this, but with the gold ones from the loose package. So the handy part about not having the adhesive on the back of these is that you can use them in the shaker windows or add the glue dot and put them on your page. So I'm going to do 3, and I have a brushed one, so we'll do them all the same. There we go. Okay, so again, I just kind of push them down quite hard. And now I'm going to add them on here. I actually think I want a smaller one instead. So it's nice, there's different sizes in here too, so you can mix and match them. So there we go. So there's from the original. And here's the shaker one. Okay, so then I'm just going to set those up here. So I have an idea for another one. We're going to see how this works. So, just like the other card, we're going to use the same pattern, but I'm swapping out the stamp set in case you don't want that stamp set. I'm just showing you how versatile. Hey, Barbara. Oh, thank you. Yes, the little craft boxes are so perfect for the sequins, and they're so pretty. I have them all stacked in a row on my unit behind me. So this one we're going to play with. I pulled out the Grateful Heart card making stamp set. So that's the one with the beautiful butterfly. So we're going to do the same pattern and the same papers, but we're swapping out the card stamp set. So here we go. I have the vellum and the pattern paper, and this time I pulled out sapphire paper, and I stamped a butterfly already. And just like the original one, we're going to do our sentiment with the little dovetailed piece. So I've cut that. So the only thing I did beforehand now is I've stamped the butterfly with the intense black ink. I really like it. It's the new black ink in this idea book, and you can use it for everything, so it doesn't really matter if you're watercoloring or you're using your markers or whatever. So that I've done so that it would be dry enough to do what I want to do now. So one of the things that is throughout this workshop, the True North one, is they have a couple of times where they have you use your inks and your water brush. So I've done a workshop with it before, and so I just thought I might show you. So what I wanted to do is I have painted with my ink, with the saffron ink, and then I've added the sapphire in at the base, just so it'll dry. So we're going to do that. So the easiest way to do that is to squeeze your ink pads, and then you end up with ink on top. And you just take your water brush, it's full of water already, and you just pick up a little bit, however much you want, of the ink, and paint it on. And obviously the farther away you go, the lighter it's going to be. So I get intense color and then it gets lighter. Now while it's still wet, I'm doing the same thing with the sapphire. I just want it, because I want it to bleed up a little bit. So while that first ink is still wet, I'm just adding the sapphire in there. This little neck there. Just brush off your, when you're going back to the lighter color, just make sure you're brushing off your brush before you put it back into your ink pad lid, or you will end up with mucky color. Okay, so again, still wet. I'm just going to grab a little bit of the blue. And I thought it just made them look a little more variegated. So, again, just clean off your brush with a paper towel or your hand like I am. And just going to fill in his little dots here. Okay, so this one I'm just going to set aside to dry. But so that's what he looks like. Apparently my power is going to die, so let's just plug this in. Okay. Close up my inks. And so there's that guy. I'm going to use the clear shimmer brush on him. This is the dry one. So now the butterfly is all sparkly. Just set that aside. Okay, so I thought I'm going to use this little branch leaf thing here to go underneath the vellum. The dog is having a nice lazy afternoon on his cushion beside me here. So same thing. I think I will use the espresso ink, and we're just going to random stamp it. Got to move a few things out of my way or I'm going to make a mess. Which I typically do anyway, as I said, when I ended up with the candy apple ink all over me yesterday. So again, so I've never actually used this stamp, so I'm going to stamp it once first, just to make sure we're good. Yep. Okay, so no rhyme or reason. So I hope everybody gets some time to play with something fun this weekend, crafty. This time of year we all get so busy. It's hard to remember to schedule some crafty time. Okay, you kind of just have to grab it when you get it. So this weekend is actually my crop, so as it gets closer to Christmas, it gets harder and harder because everybody's so busy. Okay. I already folded it, but there we go. Okay, so again, I'm going to add the edge first. Sometimes it's so hard to tell which way the adhesive is. I have to actually look and see where the okay, so you can either add the adhesive to the card base or to the vellum, because again it's going to just sit on top and we're going to cover it up right away. See, there we go. I was just upside down again. So one of the other tricks too when you're cutting the vellum is I found that sometimes, because it's a little bit thicker, when you are putting it in your trimmer, pulling on the edges, it's ripping. So I found that if I laid my blade just a little bit in from the cut and went both ways, then it was just a little bit smoother. So I think I'm going to use the lighter side. Maybe I'll use the darker side. So I'm just going to add the stitching with my pen again. But also, if you don't want to do it with your pen, there's actually the new stamp set too. This one called Stitch Borders, and it would be perfect too to add the stitching on the side. That's one of my new favorite essential stamp sets from this catalog. I love it. So it's easy to just add the stitching with your ink instead of a pen or actually your sewing machine. Okay, so we are getting there. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp the thank you. So in that same stamp set, there's lots of sentiments. There's thank you, there's hello friend, thankful, grateful, blessed. You could add any of those on here. And I'm going to use sapphire ink. I had cut it before. Oh, I think I totally moved. Yeah. Okay, we're going to flip that over. I could totally feel as I put it down that I was shifting my hand. Sometimes it's hard not to be able to see over top of what you're doing. Okay, there, that's better. That's also a super pigmented ink, so I have to be careful with it because I end up with it all over myself too. Okay, so let's put this together now. So, some adhesive. Add the sentiment on here, not my shaky one all. About there. And I'm wondering if maybe I should paint him gold instead. So this is my gold one. Maybe I'll do that. Or add the gold back here. So I'm going to cut it out so it doesn't really matter if I went over the edges. So, and I think I like that one. So I think we're going to use this one. It's still a little bit damp, but it would also look super pretty if once this is all dry, to add a layer of liquid glass on top of it to make it shiny. Oh, here I can maybe do that with this one. So if you kind of paint on the liquid glass and let it dry, it gives it a super shiny. So I'll let this dry off to the side, and then I'll add the photo into the comments. So I'm kind of just outlining each of his wings, not leaves, and filling it in just a little bit. So, but this is going to take a while to dry. So once it's dry, I'll cut them out and I'll add the picture into the comments below. But actually that's super pretty. So you could totally do that too. With the leaves would look really cool too with the liquid glass on there. It kind of gives it a totally different look. I'll just pop. There's a little air bubble right there. Yes, I will for sure, if I'm not careful, end up with liquid glass all over everything. Okay, so I'm just gonna fussy cut him out. I'm gonna add his antennas onto the card just with my pen, because there's no way I can fussy cut around those little guys. So, yes, the gold is very pretty on him. I should have, I think, cut him out before, because this is a lot of fussy cutting in this one. But oh well. Almost finished. Okay, I'm just going to add the twine and the sequins to the card. And then we'll glue him down and I'll add his antlers in. Antennas, not antlers. Oh my goodness. Yeah, okay, that's the winner. Okay, so we're going to add the twine. I'm just going to take a few strands of the twine. I'm just pulling some of the kinks out of it. I think I'm going to add it over here this time. So you can see on this one, I just have 2 pieces of twine and this staple is a little bit empty. So I think I'm going to add 3. There's tons and tons on here. You have like 10 yards. So, oh, I can't add it over there. I put the stitch in there. So you would not see the stitching. So we'll go back over there. So I'm just going to staple it with the mini stapler. So I'm just going to lay them flat at the top where I want them. I've cut them a little bit extra long so that I have some room to play with. And I will staple them. And then just with my fingers, I'm making sure they're not tangled. And just going to run them down to the other end. And staple at the other end. Got it. Okay. Almost done, guys, I promise. So I'm just going to trim off the twine. Like so, as I'm making a big mess here. This looks crooked to me. I'm just going to maneuver it just a little bit. I'm sure it's because I freehand cut it. There. There you go. That is better. Okay, I'm going to add him right here. And I think I am going to just trying to decide if I will add him. I think I'm going to add him with dots. He's still a little bit wet, but he will now dry on the card. Okay, and I'm just going to add just little antennas with my pen. There. Okay, we're just going to add the sequins and then we're all done. So I'm going back to what's actually in the package, the bundle. So there's these beautiful bronze sequins in the bundle too, and there's tons in the package. So I'm going to add, I think, the dark brown ones. They're beautiful. So there we go, guys. That was a productive Friday afternoon. So Like I said, if you want to see the other videos, they're below. And the process video is below. And it's also on my YouTube channel. So here's the original card. Here was the first one we used that we remade with the shaker elements. And then here's the other one with the Grateful Heart card making stamp set. So I hope you guys all have a great afternoon. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.